Welcome back to a brand new PTCG live video. Today I'll be going over the top 10 most playable cards from the new upcoming sets Black Bolt and White Flare, which will be soon released in mid-July of 2025. So with that being said, let's take a look at some of these new cards. So starting out with Air Balloon, this will be a trainer tool card, and you can have this attached to a Pokemon to have a retreat cost that is 2 colorless energies less. So a really good tool card in my opinion. Ideally, I feel like the most usage is for you to attach this to a Pokemon that has exactly a 2 retreat cost, so that you can reduce that to 0, and now you have a pivot Pokemon to work with while playing. And we can already see some early data for this. It's been used pretty heavily in the Japan Championships of 2025. It was used in 3 of the Marnie's Grimmsnarl decks. It was in the Joltik Toolbox, the Dragapult and Charizard deck, Charizard with Pidgeot, as well as Goldango EX. And this is going to be a reprint card as well from the Sword and Shield base set. It did have a hyper rare variant as well, and the price on this card has absolutely skyrocketed since the card is back into standard legal rotation. It used to be just a $3 card, and on Limitless they even put the price history of the card for the hyper rare, and it is like a $20 card now on TCG Player. Moving on to the next card, we got the Tool Scrapper, which will be a trainer item card. You can choose up to 2 Pokemon tool cards attached to Pokemon in play, either yours or your opponent's, and discard them. So a pretty good item card. It is also easily searched out with Arvin, and it is also an item card, which is pretty good, so you don't have to use something like the Ruffian supporter card to discard a tool card. And no data really on it. This is a reprint, so this is kind of like old data from back in the Sword and Shield era, because this was released in Rebel Clash. And it did also have a hyper rare variant as well when it was printed in Rebel Clash. It used to be also just a $2 card, $2.50, $3. It is like $14 now on TCG Player, since it is back in standard rotation and people want this for their decks. Moving on to the next card, we got the Hilda Trainer Supporter card, where you can search out your deck for a Evolution Pokemon and a Energy card and put them into your hand. So very similar to Chloris' Tenacity, but I feel like what's better here is that you get to get a Evolution Pokemon instead of a Stadium card, which is far more helpful in my opinion. And then the Energy card can be, of course, a special energy card, just like with the Chloris' Tenacity. And we already got some early data on this card. It already was used in the Japan Championships. It was used by both of the Dragapult decks that took 28th and 30th place. And I'm definitely sure that other decks used it that were under the top 32. I'm pretty sure a ton of people used this supporter card. Moving on to Brave Bangle, which will be a trainer tool card. If the Pokemon this card is attached to does not have a rule box, attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active EX. So a pretty good tool card to put into a deck that is just single prize attackers. It did see also a little bit of usage at the Japan Championships, where a Joltik Toolbox used this tool card. And moving on to the next card, moving on to some of the Pokemon here. We got the Genesect EX, which is going to be here for the ability that Metal Signal. Once during your turn, you can search out your deck for 2 Metal Evolution Pokemon and put them into your hand. So that is a really powerful ability. The attack is really nothing to write home about. The Protect Charge, 150 base damage is really not that good. And then during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 damage or less from attacks. And it definitely did see usage at the Japan Championships 2025. Both of the Goldango decks did use this Genesect EX for the 10th and 11th place. And pretty good way to get your Goldango EXs into play and start drawing cards. As well as you do get to search out that single prize Scizor with those punishing Scissors attack. So really good Pokemon in my opinion. A little bit of a 2 prize liability, but definitely worth it, where you can just search out your Goldangos so quickly. Then moving on to the next Pokemon, we got the Electrike, which will be a single prizer, and it has that ability Dynamotor. You can use this ability once during your turn, and you can attach a basic Lightning Energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. So a really good ability. It's basically a 1-for-1 of the Flaffy that just rotated out from Sword and Shield. And I'm pretty sure this will definitely see play. It is a really good ability for any Lightning deck, because Lightning decks definitely discard a lot of energy cards, and you'll just get them all back with this Electrike. Moving on to the next Pokemon, we have the Zekrom EX here, which will be a Roll Box Pokemon. We got 230 HP, and then we have that Voltage Burst with 130 base damage, and then 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has already taken. And then the only drawback is the 30 damage that you do to yourself, which is kind of bad because Lightning decks really don't have any way of healing up. They don't really run Monkey Dory or any other healing options, so that's definitely kind of bad. But I definitely think the potential for this Pokemon is pretty good. It is a basic Pokemon. You can put something like a Bravery Charm to get some extra HP, and they can definitely do quite a lot of damage. And then moving on to the next Pokemon, we got the Jellicent EX here. Really powerful attack with Curse of the Sea. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent can't play any item cards from their hand or attach any tool cards while this Pokemon is in the active spot. So pretty good. We basically shut down half of all of the trainer cards, and your opponent can only play supporter cards and stadium cards. So that's pretty bad for your opponent. And then we have the Power Press for the 80 base damage, and then if you have at least 2 more energy cards attached to this Pokemon, that is 4 energies, because you need 2 extra, and then you get to do 80 more damage if you have the 2 extra. So if you have 4 energies total, you'll be able to do 160 damage with Jellicent's Power Press. So that's definitely not a problem at all for the Gardevoir EX here. And of course, it is definitely run with Gardevoir. 3 Gardevoir decks in the top 32 did have Jellicent for the Japan Championships. And then moving on to the Imbor here, this will be a single prizer here with that Inferno Fandango, where you can use this ability as often as you like during your turn. You can attach a basic fire energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So it is basically like a Baxcalibur, but just for fire energies. So a pretty good ability. I'm pretty sure it will become a better Pokemon when more fire type Pokemon get released. Definitely a very powerful ability. And of course, the only drawback, it is a stage 2 Pokemon. Sometimes it can be pretty tough to get into play. And yeah, that's just about it. And attack is only kind of okay. You got the Heat Crash. Maybe it can be good to take a one-hit KO on something like a Mimikyu or something. And then lastly, we got the Reshiram EX here, 230 HP, and then we got that Blaze Burst with 130 base damage, and then 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has already taken. And the only drawback is you discard an energy card attached to this Pokemon for using this attack. So no data really on this card, but I'm pretty sure it will get played down the road. It is a really good attack, very similar to the Charizard from Obsidian Flame that has that Burning Darkness, where the more prize cards your opponent has taken, the more damage you get to do. So yeah, those are all the top 10 cards that I think will be the most playable from the new upcoming sets. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.